Hey guys, Moneyman300. Got another tuning video here. This time it's the A-Class Ferrari F50. This is a very good car in A-Class. Does well on the leaderboards, does well in the lobbies. You'll probably see quite a few people driving these out there, so it's a pretty common car, but that's okay. It's a cool car. And it's good to have some of these that really do well out there. A couple of go-to cars like this one, and if you've looked at the leaderboards at all, the KTM Crossbow or X-Bow, whatever you want to call it. And we're probably going to do one of those too because it's super dominant in this class, and it's good to have if you're going to be out there hot lapping and things. But this is just a cool car. It does well, and I think I got it hooked up pretty well here. It just happens that Rock King is my rival here, and I beat him on like 2 laps. This is lap 4, lap 5. Get the tires warmed up those first couple, and I've ran 2 low 126s. As a matter of fact, I think this lap right here that I'm about to finish, he's behind me somewhere, so a couple low 126s, but just dirtied him in a couple little spots out there. So see if we can't run one clean here and get by our rival, and then go take a look at that tune and that build. So here we go into there, into all important turn 1. Too bad. If I get it right here, I should get past him. Woo, a little wide, but not a great turn, but a little play. We're going to come off the gas just a touch there to get us set up for the downhill run here. There we go. This down here at the bottom is always tricky. Not losing. I'm actually going to downshift one more time. I like to run this at pretty high RPMs here. Set up, and then every turn's important, but how you set up for this run right here that's really good right there. Actually, it's going to run me all the way out to the side. We're going to carry good speed up this hill. I'm getting that 143 range, and then my nemesis. Finishing strong. We're going to downshift one more time right there just to... Hey, this is a good lap. Finish strong here. Let's get down the hill. See what kind of time we end up with. See if we can get in the 125s. Not quite. Not bad though. Not bad. We'll end it there. No need to run a bunch more laps. Had one that was in the 126 ones. I know we can get this, better first turn and a little better at the bottom of the hill, and we're getting into the 125s. I think I can get to probably 125.5 with a little better driving there, but pretty good. So let's finish this out here. I spent a little bit more time than I normally do tuning this. I had to start over like twice. I think it's that kind of mid-engine car. I haven't been tuning a lot of that lately, so it just took a little bit to get it dialed in. But once I did, it's super good. It's easy to handle. It's fun to drive. It's pretty fast. It should do well in the lobbies. The first gear's a little long, so it's not super great off the line. But once you get going, you'll be able to just cruise through traffic. I didn't use no traction control or anything on that. You could put that on there if you want, but I don't think it needs it. Like I said, I was able to drive it around pretty good, and that was a pretty good lap time there, so that got us to 146. Definitely could get this with a few more laps. That was, I think, on my 5th lap, so with a few more laps I could run that into the top 100. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So let's hop over here and take a look at our build and our tune. The great thing about this car, and I talked about that a little bit, it's portable up to Class S also, with just just adding some more parts on it. You could pretty much take this same exact tune and run it right up into Class S. So let's go over here to our tune and upgrade area, and let's start off as always with, let's actually start with, let me get in here. There's no engine conversions in here, but what I want to do is just get in here and show our numbers. So we got a speed of 7.1, handling 6.1, acceleration 8.8, launch 8.5, and braking a 6.6. And as you can see it's a mid-engine rear wheel drive, and I think that's what gave me a little bit of problem tuning it. That's, I'm used to the front engine rear wheel, but we got it dialed in. Look at our horsepower numbers. Good horsepower, 585 horsepower, 380 foot-pounds of torque, coming in at 2785 42% on the to the front on the weight distribution of 4.7 liters of displacement. So like I said, no engine conversion, really can't do that without jumping it all the way up here. Let's see if it shows our doesn't really show your torque line there. I kind of want, oh, this is the drivetrain. So yeah, not making it all-wheel drive in this case. You actually can make this all-wheel drive and keep it in Class A, but you really got to sacrifice the horsepower and things. I played around with that a little bit for another challenge. And then no aspiration conversion. And here you can look at what I think is something that people don't pay enough attention to, and that's your horsepower line. So you can see my peak horsepower is in the 8,500 to 9,000 range. So you really want to wrap this thing out, run it in, and that's why you'll notice you saw one and a couple of times where I downshifted. That was to get my RPMs up into a very high level so that I had maximum horsepower coming out of those turns. So I was running between third and fifth the whole way around, and those couple of times that I downshifted at the bottom of the hill, I got down into third gear, and then again in the last turn I popped it down into third gear just so I could be at peak horsepower coming out of that turn. So always making sure that you're looking at this curve, because it is important, and each car can be a little bit different. But yeah, so there's that there. So no engine conversions, no aspiration conversion here. You can't really do that. That's how I would, if you wanted to take this up into S-Class, you could put an aspiration conversion on this and put a few more horsepower, use basically the same tune, and you're going to have, and take the weight out also, because I didn't do any weight in this, and you'll have a really nice S-Class one also. So it's almost like two cars in one here. So let's go in here. We're going to have a full aero front and back. I don't really have to show up. There you go, full front and back aero. And then I'm going to start at the engine parts after that. So let's go in here and take a look. I believe we have, yep, race intake on this one. And nothing stock on the intake manifold and fuel system. Stock fuel system. We're stock there. I believe we have the exhaust on there. So we have the race exhaust. And I also have the sport cams and valves, and that is going to be it for this. I won't go the rest of those, but that's everything on that. Let's hop over into the platform and handling. I'm going to have the race brakes. I do have the race roll cage. It gets you 1 PI back just to kind of work that extra little bit of horsepower in there. So we do have that. And then no weight reduction in this. This is another one of those, if you want to take it up into S-Class, this is probably the first thing you're going to want to do is take the weight out of the car. And then start adding power in. So take the weight out, go put maybe the turbo on there, and then upgrade the turbo and the engine parts, get it to the top of 700, and that's really all you're going to need to do to take this to a 700. And the tune should work. Another thing you might consider, because I have stock transmission on this, stock clutch, and I always have stock clutch, is you could also start to upgrade this transmission. Although most people are running stock on this F50 just because. Look at the PI difference there, 9 PI, 13 PI more, and really, if you saw that drive around there, it's pretty good. And I didn't even feel like I needed to adjust it anywhere. I was able to run peak horsepower in the right parts of the track without too much of a problem. No driveline here, and as always, we have the race differential on this. So let's move over to our tires and our tire compound. We've got race tire compound on here. Got the full upgrades there, and I'm gonna be stock on both the front and the back width. Another thing you could bump up here, it's not a ton of PI to do. If you're up in S-Class, you get just a little bit more grip out of that. If you want to bump up bump that up when you make it an S-Class car. And then our wheels, we're gonna have it be in the first group, and we're gonna be, this is towards the end. These are the RGS wheels here, a little bit heavier wheel to try to get it balanced in there, but whatever wheel you can fit in with the rest of the build and still keep that PI at 700. And we are upgraded width on both of these to the 19-inch wheels on the front and in the back. So we got the upgraded wheels there, and I think that that's all the build there. So let's hop into the tune and take a look at that. Tire pressure is pretty similar. I kind of played around with them up, down a little bit. This seemed okay. You can tune that to your liking there, but I ended up at 28.5 and 28. We have stock gearing here, so there's nothing I can do with this, so we'll leave that there. Camber, pretty high on the camber. I was watching my other videos. I've been doing that. I've actually played around this a little lower, and then went high. It landed high. I liked it. Did not have to bump up the caster angle at all. I left that default, and this is actually the toe. The front and rear toe is default. Was here. It was stable. I wasn't losing traction coming out of the corners at all, so did not need to mess with my caster angle at all. Roll bars. This is quite a bit different than the stock, I believe, but we have 1473 in the front and 20.02 in the back. And this really, I really had to play around with these quite a bit to get the car to hook up in the middle of the turn. And I was also having problems with corner exit oversteer as well. So was able to dial that in. And then springs 456.2, 590.2, probably a little different than the default. Also, you'll see all of these where the front's a little softer than the rear. That was because of that mid-engine. So instead of having the engine all the way in the front, you move that to closer to the rear. It really changes what you do with the springs. So this is where we ended up there. 9.0 and 10.0 pretty stiff. This is one area where I struggled to dial in, and I finally just said screw it. I went really stiff in the front and took really soft in the rear, and that worked. So I can't really explain why. I was actually kind of going the other way for a while, and I just could not fix. And this was really so rebound stiffness, and I don't think I talked about it in my video enough. This is where you can control another place where you can control your turn in and your exit. You know, if you're exit oversteer or exit understeer, this is an area where you tune that, the rebound, and I kind of do that last. You know, try to get the mid turn and my wheel slippage and all those things done with the springs and the roll bars, and then I come in here and you make fine tune adjustments to really dial in being able to hook up coming out of the corner. So yeah, so I ended up at 9.0, 10.0, and then one just complete soft out of there, and it works well. It actually, you know, you'll feel it. The first couple of laps you gotta kind of take it easy, because it seems to take a while for these tires to warm up, and then things really start to hook up about that third, fourth lap in there. So, you know, the problem with that is in multiplayer you gotta wait till the end of the lap, but probably in multiplayer and there's more cars and things like that, you're probably gonna be pretty well heated up by that second lap. So full downforce on this. You're gonna see this more and more as we get up into the higher classes of tunes, whereas, you know, back when we were in D and C class, you know, we're taking all the downforce out. Now we're starting to put it all in. I actually played with this at different places. I had it in the middle, I had it about 3/4, but I didn't really seem to lose any speed when I put it all the way, and I definitely could notice a difference in my handling and my ability to take turns at higher speeds. So yep, full downforce on that. And then our brakes at 52%. Another place where actually I had to play around a little bit here. I had it as high as 56, but I felt like I was losing. I'm still not sure this is quite dialed in where I want it, because I still tend to get sideways a little bit at the bottom of the big hill on Alps Stadtplatz. But it's worked pretty good. And then 125. This is really a personal preference for you guys. Play around with these, put them, you know, where it makes sense. If you're using ABS, you're probably going to be a little different here. If you just stopped using ABS, like if you're trying to get away from ABS and over there, you're probably going to start out with a lighter pressure braking force. You might even go as low as 90 until you get used to, you know, that control with your finger in there, and then you can start bumping it up. You know, and the better you get, really the higher this number goes. A lot of people will run 140 in there. I tend to lock it up a little bit when I do that, so I didn't. 60 and 40, quite a bit more acceleration differential and deceleration. It's just because this car can handle it. It's not like you put race tires on there and you don't, you know, not like those muscle cars or other cars I was building, and you're down there 10, 15, 20 on your acceleration differential. This car with the race tires can handle that higher differential, so 60 felt pretty good. It came down just a little bit off of the 70. Same thing with the deceleration differential, came down off of the default of 70 down to 40, just so it didn't completely slow it up too much or lock up that diff too much coming when I let off the throttle. So that seemed to be a good sweet spot there. So yep, that's everything there. Go out and give it a try. It's also, if you don't want to come put the numbers in yourself, you can grab the tune off of the, I want to say marketplace, not really marketplace, but out of setup manager. You can load that up. I'll have it shared out there under my name. And yeah, it should be good on multiple tracks. I'm gonna go drive it on a few more tracks now. I tuned it on for the Alps. Should be good on all 3 Alps tracks, and probably really good in Prague and other places like that. I'll probably try it on Road Atlanta, but yeah, should be a solid car. So go out there, grab it, and thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.